Alright guys, before today's episode, just a quick reminder that we are on Patreon for as little as £3 a month. You can sign up and get access to an extra episode every 2 weeks, plus bonus content from all our previous live shows, the full behind the scenes footage from the Pavilion, a behind the scenes documentary from last year's Edinburgh Fringe, and first tips on upcoming tickets for Some Laugh Live shows.
Yes, I think you covered everything there, didn't you?
Although
there's little for me to add.
The other thing is, I guess the other thing we do in terms of tickets, we sometimes do some Some Laugh stand-up shows, don't we, Stuart?
We do some new material nights sometimes, don't we, with special guests and friends and former podcast guests, and they're always the right laugh.
Some special guests that haven't done the podcast.
Yeah, but maybe one day.
Maybe one day in the future. You never know.
And you can support us over there on Patreon. We do appreciate everyone that does. It keeps us in trousers, doesn't it, Mark?
Yeah, it keeps us going, keeps us growing. So thank you to everybody who has signed up to Patreon. Hopefully see more of you there, see you at the live shows, and aside from that, enjoy today's episode.
Enjoy the episode, thank you.
Welcome to the Some Laugh podcast.
It could be like, oh, that was some laugh, or there was just some laughs.
Well, no promising all laugh.
No, there's going to be some.
It's some laugh. What I do know that you care about, Sikisa, is wrestling.
Yeah. Are we on?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, I thought we were just chatting.
No,
That's going to close behind the curtain of Sikisa being the most tired and hungover person today.
No.
How dare you?
There's nobody
the festival.
There's nobody intro. Okay.
No,
we like to ambush the guests.
We like to sort of just, it's slight as if it's like you're just sitting down in the pub mid-convo and what's happening? We'll catch you up.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Okay.
But,
she's on now.
yes. But you're a big wrestling head.
Oh, massive wrestling head.
When did you watch it as a kid? Is that what got you into it?
Yeah, I started watching it when I was like 11 years old.
Yeah.
When a cousin of mine brought over this wrestling tape. It was WrestleMania from 1999. And the match that got me hooked into wrestling was The Undertaker versus Big Boss Man in a Hell in a Cell match where he basically hangs the Big Boss Man at the end.
Sure.
That is the match that got me into wrestling. And then in 2000, Channel 4 bought the rights of WWF at the time. That's what it was called. And they started showing pay-per-views and like wrestling on Channel 4.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have Sky or cable at the time. So I was able to like stay up and watch wrestling. And that's what got me into it.
I think I remember that because there was, as you say, it was on Sky Sport. I remember like Raw used to be on Sky Sports or something, but then they would show highlights on Sky One on a Saturday or Sunday, which I would see. But then I remember there was one and it was like on Channel 4 and I remember taping it. And I think it was that guy Taz.
Yeah,
he was coming in.
It was his debut. It would have been the Royal Rumble 2000. So the first match was Raw. So this is so weird and nerdy. The first match was Kurt Angle versus Taz, and it was Taz's debut in the WWE.
They were like, they hadn't revealed what they were doing all these teasers for him, but didn't know who's this guy or what is this about, and it was Taz.
Yeah.
Talk me through Taz then. What's his deal?
Taz is basically the suplex machine.
You heard this? No?
Yeah. So, and his stuff was like about submission. So, the controversial thing about Taz coming to WWF was that Kurt Angle had never lost a match since he's been in WWF, which was like 6 months or something like that, maybe like 4. As the Olympic champion, he was like hyped up and stuff like that. Everyone hated him. And then Taz came in, Royal Rumble 2000, debut match, choked out Kurt Angle. And then Kurt Angle was like, we can't class this because it's a choke out and that's not really classed as a wrestling move in WWF. So it was very controversial. There's always drama in WWE.
I'm also sure that was the pay-per-view because, again, I did have this on tape, that Mae Young, the old woman, and she got her tits out.
She got her tits out.
No, I'm listening. What's going on here?
So, Stuart, there was a Miss Royal Rumble 2000 in this pay-per-view event. And all the women of WWE came out in like bathing suit outfits or like, remember this is January, bathing in New York, by the way. January, New York, came out in bathing suits, bikinis to who had the best one. And the women's world champion at the time was called Miss Cat, and she came out in bubble wrap. Just bubble wrap.
Lady Gaga.
Yeah, a bit, yeah. So she was like the original Lady Gaga. She came out in bubble wrap. And then they were going to announce the winner, and then Mae Young, who was like 76 at the time, or like
She's
80.
a proper wrestler, 76 years old.
Did she used to be back in the
She used to
day?
be a wrestler. And then she just came. She was just in the company for novelty, if you want to put it that way. And she came out and basically revealed herself in this bathing suit. And Jerry Lawler, who was quite controversially at the time pervy.
Jerry the King Lawler.
Yeah, was quite pervy. Was like, we don't want to see your puppies, put them away. And then she basically pulled down her top to reveal her puppies. And it was really funny because at the time, Channel 4 just censored it. It was this like weird image on the TV. And I was just like, we can all see that it's her tits. Yeah.
That was my sexual awakening. Actually.
Well done.
Always been into
Mae
older
Young.
women since then.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But thank you for joining us, Sikisa.
No, thank you for having me. I really appreciate the Scottish lads coming, letting me on the podcast.
Yeah, no, it's nice to finally get you on, of course. How are you finding the Fringe this year?
I'm only up for 2 weeks, so it's quite fun to be like, I'm here, because I think I would have had FOMO if I didn't come up. But also, I am tired already.
Yeah.
The Fringe does something to your time
you up,
clock.
doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
Well, I think sometimes as well, like, see if you're doing did you say you were doing late and live last night?
I was doing late and live
So
yesterday.
see when you're doing that, right, you don't finish till late, and then so it's easy done to go out for 1 or 2 that ends up turning into 3 or 4. But if it's a normal night, that'd be like midnight. But when you're finishing at midnight, it's fucking 4 in the morning.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
crazy. I got into my house at 6 a.m. this morning. What? Who told me to do that? No one told me to do that. It's bright. It was daylight.
I'm glad that we've done an afternoon recording, because if we'd been in,
Oh, if you had said any earlier, I would have been dead.
so it's good to have you
Well, we
back.
got an early night and then stayed up talking smack till like 4:30.
We were in the flat and we
With a
still
little
stayed up till
sleepover.
4 in the morning. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it was good
What
fun.
were you talking about?
Just like, Scottish comedians from 10 years ago. That
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah, just-
Remembering people from back in the day.
Remember them? They were mental, weren't they? Basically that far.
Just, yeah, for about 6 hours, yeah. Because you were doing a full run last year.
I did my second full run last year, and that was fun because it was my first time at Monkey Barrel, and also I was doing like burlesque in the show.
Were you?
Yeah,
'Cause Did you do burlesque before?
I still do burlesque.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did burlesque before, but I do it under a different name. But the show was all about how I communicate better in actions rather than words, because I found out I was dyslexic. So I had a whole rediscovery about myself. So I decided to end the show in burlesque.
Nice. And how was that?
Fun. It got really fun reception. At one point, Monkey Barrel kept telling us, "Can you keep it down?" I was like, "It's not us. It's everyone singing along."
Yeah, I can't help it if I'm killing it to this crowd.
Yeah, it was fun. It was really fun. It was obviously quite nerve-wracking to do burlesque in a comedy show.
Yeah.
That's quite a risk taker. But yeah, got some really good reviews. Like there's one there, there's one there.
Yeah, you're on the wall.
I'm on the wall, there's one right there.
Yeah, because so did you, in terms of performance, was it burlesque first, was it, for you?
I used to be a dancer. So I used to be a dancer when I was younger. And then my parents didn't want me to be a dancer. So I had to go to university. And then
You studied immigration law?
I studied law.
You studied law?
Studied law and then went to university to become a lawyer, but was still dancing on the side. And then I ended up started working in this pub that did like live music, cabaret, and comedy. And then I was like, maybe I could do what I do in terms of dancing in like cabaret. And then a woman decided to give me my first chance in the cabaret show. And then over the years, I just had the like confidence, if you want to put it that way, to like take off a bra in front of strangers. So yeah, I think it's quite empowering.
Inspired by the women from WWE.
Obviously. Mae Young is my inspiration.
Mae Young can do it.
May you rest in peace. May you rest in peace.
She did? Oh, she must be dead now.
When she was 76 then, and that was 24
24,
years
yeah,
ago.
yeah.
I wonder what, I mean, we still got a great set of tits, who knows? Who knows? It's unlikely though.
Well, I don't know. Dig it up. Still started that. I don't fucking know.
You remember that he said that?
They were probably fake. Who cares? Well, I don't know.
But you're just doing everything. It's crazy. There's so much going on. Immigration law.
Yeah.
Was that So was that the plan A? Was it? Was that?
No, because like I said, I didn't want to be a lawyer. My parents wanted me to have an education, so I ended up doing law instead of performing. And then at the same time as me being a lawyer, I discovered comedy and I discovered burlesque. So I was like, I'm just gonna do it anyway and be tired for life. Yeah, I think a lot of people say I do way too much, but I just like to do things that I enjoy doing. I like entertaining. I like dancing. I like just being energetic and giving out energy and the party. Everyone knows me as the party girl up here, so I'm just like, I saw someone the other day and they were like, Twix is at the party, it's started. And I was like, oh shit. High expectation for Twix and Fringe. Yeah.
So let me ask you about that, Nick. What's the deal with the Twix thing?
Oh yeah. So some people will call me Twix. There's quite a few comedians on the circuit who call me Twix. Technically, it's the name I started out with.
Right.
When I first started to try and do comedy. Because Sikisa is a very unique name and a lot of people fuck it up. So
what did people usually say?
Saskia.
Yeah.
Siskia. Someone puts an extra S in it sometimes. It gets changed into a lot of things. So when I first started, I thought it'd just be easier. And also I don't use my full name, do I? I just use my first name.
Yeah.
So I just thought it would be easier for me to just be like a nickname. So Twix came about at law school. So I have a whole chocolate family. Let's not ask questions. There's a whole chocolate family. And we all have nicknames after chocolates. And mine's Twix.
Right.
So I was like, I've already got a nickname. I'm just going to use that in comedy because it's quite fun.
What's your group chat called? Celebrations?
No, actually, it's just called the Chocolate Family. So there you go. Just a chocolate family.
So you got Twix?
Yeah, so Twix is, so everyone calls, no, some people still call me Twix.
Aye.
He's sort like people that I started out with on the circuit. So like Helen Bauer still calls me Twix. Sam still calls me Twix. There's quite a few comedians still call me Twix.
Sometimes I wish I went under a stage name.
Yeah, I'd like a stage name, if I had my time again. Yeah.
What would you call yourself?
Like Galaxy Caramel or something.
You can't be in a chocolate family.
No, I don't know, but something. Even just a normal name, but
yeah.
Well, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with your names? There's nothing wrong with your names.
nothing. I just like to differentiate.
That would be good, Just putting on a
Well, from your
costume.
personal to your stage persona.
Yeah.
I think so, aye. It's like when people put on, like a costume or something.
Yeah.
You've done that, but you do that sometimes
Yeah,
in
it's
your
quite
Fringe
useful, I
shows.
think.
Oh, this is not you.
No, I mean, I'm deeply in character.
Do you ever do that? Have you done like a full run that you've had a particular costume? I guess you must have needed to for the burlesque stuff.
Yeah, so the first year I had, it was called Life of the Party, and I had a whole party dress on. And then I was like, I'm not going to do a costume again because it was a pain in the ass to come in to get changed.
Carry it every day.
Gotta wash it all the time as well.
Yeah, because I had to have two dresses because if I went to go and wash one, and then in the end of to be honest with you, didn't wash the dresses. Just kept them in the dressing room. And then I was like, I'm not going to do another costume outfit again. And then because of the second show, I had to get a costume made. So I got a specialist costume made that was quite emo looking. I had a whole jacket made with my name on the back with my logo. And it had a motif. And then...
Can't just drop with my logo like you.
I got a logo,
Premier
baby.
League football.
I got a logo. I got a shield. It was a shield. I got a shield. And then basically it was detachable, so it was easy to rip off. So they had poppers on the side and poppers on the front, so I could just rip it off into the costume underneath. But again, that was a pain in the ass. So I remember there was a day I had to do a show before my actual show, and I had to go in costume to the show, and I just felt like a dickhead just walking down the street with half my costume on.
I suppose if anything, though, Fringe is the one place you can just walk down the street and all that stuff. There's somebody been walking by me all the time and they're dressed like an elf, and they're obviously finished their show and they're going home, and I'm like, that's just, and they sometimes just look kind of sad, and I'm like, yeah, that's the Fringe.
that's
Have you seen that guy in the Royal Mile that stands and it's he's in the wind or something, and he's got all this ash on him?
Whoa.
I always see him walking home, and it's funnier when he's not standing still.
I've not been up the Royal Mile yet.
No.
So
Best to avoid
it.
it.
You can barely move on it. It's fucking
It's fucking
ridiculous, isn't it?
well, I felt like that way the other day on Saturday in Cowgate night.
So busy.
Oh,
I was like, I'm not doing this today. After my show, I was like, going home, went home, had a KFC.
Do you know?
Right.
I can always tell I've been out too late at the Fringe. Just see the next day when I'm walking into town, and like if MD's even marginally in my way,
Yeah.
I'm like, get the fuck out. I'm just feel like so like just seeing them as obstacles. Like it's taking every ounce of me to just not like shout at people in the
Well,
street.
this is always why I like coming up to the Fringe as well, because like in London, obviously I live in London, it gets ridiculously busy
Aye.
in August because obviously everyone's off school, and like a lot of the time I'm in central London and I just find myself going, can you move out the fucking way? It's just really frustrating with like people just really walking really slowly down the street. I'm like, this is London, we need to move.
It's ridiculous. And here, like, there's always just so many lost looking tourists, and they just randomly will just stop, like, you know, and just
in the middle
of the road and look about, and you're like, why go, man? There's like a fucking whole queue of people behind you.
It's when they start walking and then just randomly just stop.
That's it.
That's the annoying bit.
I feel like we all do this though. It's only ever annoying when it happens right in front of you.
I never do.
So wait, you two live in Glasgow?
Yeah.
And are you living in Edinburgh?
For the Fringe,
Yeah.
So you're not doing what Roscoe's doing?
No, I would fuck.
No, he's off his nut.
He's fucking off. He's not. It'd be too much.
He does Twitch as well, does he not? Does he not
Yeah, he
go
goes
home
back
then
and does his Twitch stream
streams
every
on
night.
Twitch
That's what he
every
does.
night.
Oh shit.
He's like you, he loves working.
Oh, no, there's a certain point, baby. There's a certain point. Like Twitch is a different level.
Aye.
That's the dedication that I don't know if I could ever do.
I don't know.
Too many
It could
cables.
Be asked, I know. So your first show's called Life of the Party.
Life of the Party.
Have you always been considered Life of the Party, even before comedy and all
Yeah.
that? Sikisa?
I've always been the one that's been like, we're gonna have some fun. Let's just party.
You going to the Dave party tonight?
Of course I'm going to the party today.
See you
There
there.
can't be a party without me.
No.
I will go to all the parties, apart from the techno party. I will go to all the parties.
Is there going to be a Dave logo and then your logo right next to it?
Sponsored by
what?
Sikisa this year.
We could do that. We could do that. Next year they're gonna sponsor my show. There you go. Let's do that. Dave will sponsor my show next year.
Were you always the bad influence, getting people to stay out and all that kind of stuff?
I wouldn't say I was always the one that looked after people.
Aye.
But I just like having a good time and having fun.
not a crime.
I'm not really like a big. No, I was going to say something. I was like, no, take that back, Sikisa. I was like, I was not a big drinker. I was like, no, that's a lie. That's a big old lie. I'm one of those people that I can drink a lot and still seem absolutely sober. Or especially if something happens, like if one of my friends is like really, really drunk and tripping over and showing her vagina out in the street, something will click in me where I'll be like, okay, we just need to sort that out. And I just seem sober.
Just problem solving.
Yeah, problems.
A maternal figure.
I hate that. People call me mother figure all the time. It's really annoying.
The mum of the group. You don't have
Yeah,
any.
it's
These
on the-
fucking wankers always dating me.
He's the mum of our group.
Oh, really? I thought you was a party boy.
All right. Well, you know, listen, I have my moments, but somebody's got to be fucking responsible and set up these
I
cameras.
thought it was
and shit.
him.
No, it's fuck all.
Nah, I'm a renegade.
Barely even speaks. No, I know. Believe it or not, I'm pretty sensible.
Really?
I'd say so. Aye.
I wouldn't believe that for.
It's good to know what my reputation is like.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like a party. I'll be this day party.
What kind of party do you like? What's your favourite type of party?
I like a drink, but I'm not a drugs guy.
Yeah.
So, but I guess, you know, when you're single, my thing is like, it's fun to meet different people.
Meet like-minded individuals.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, correspond over, you know, the latest box of literature. And
Meets minds.
yes, that type of thing, you know. Did you see the latest, you know, whatever.
So, do you prefer like a sit-down party or like
What the
a...
fuck's a sit-down party?
Like, you know how people like...
Like being in the pub
Yeah,
more than like
or
a
like
club.
a house, like a house gathering, not
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
party, a house gathering where you have like nibbles, food, and like everyone's just chilled out and sitting on the sofa. Or
I
do
like
you
that.
prefer like a proper house party, or do you prefer like going out to a
I
club?
feel like I'm too old for the clubs now.
You're too old, for the hive.
Aye, 100%.
We were drinking, I can't remember if you were there, but I was in Barrel Bar a few nights ago and just having a laugh. But there was a member of staff drinking, and she's only like 19 or something. She's like, where are we going tonight? We're going Hive. And it's just like the thought that you would even ask me if we're going to Hive is just fucked. Do you know what I mean?
I had a good run in nightclubs in my 20s. and I feel like I kind of completed it. And no, I don't miss it. I wouldn't say. I just wouldn't have the energy. Do you just have the energy to go
I'm
to
tired
clubs?
all the time.
Yeah.
But you still like going to a
I
club?
like dancing. Like the one thing that I really enjoy in life in general is like moving and like just shaking your ass. Obviously, white people don't have asses, but I'm joking. But well, you have to buy them. But I really just enjoy like it feels like shaking like any issues you had that day or like any problems or just having a good vibe. I just really enjoy dancing.
That's your version of therapy.
Yeah, actually, it's a really good point. Actually, it is. It's my version of therapy.
Where do you go dancing in Edinburgh then?
So Katie Green had a little Latin party the other day at Bochetta.
Yeah, Bochetta de Brazil.
Yeah. So we were there dancing, but everything else here has been a really dancey vibe. There's nothing really much here.
I don't feel like the majority of comics are big dancers.
No, the overlapping
They are.
dances.
There are. There's quite a few of us that are like to dance and party.
But you probably hang out with the fun folk.
Yeah, it's true.
No, I mean,
No, joking.
boys.
Just you and Jordan Brooks.
He does like that. I've seen it.
But I feel like whenever I go to like a party and it's just like a sit down on the sofa and everyone's just chatting and get to know each other kind of vibe, I find those parties boring.
You mean it boring?
Yeah, and then people are just doing coke and I was like, because I don't do those kind of things.
Yeah, that's my thing as well, man.
Yeah.
I find that boring, but you can find the right conversation. Fine.
You like to get intimate with someone.
Yeah.
Well,
Mark does, yeah.
Not in the public scenario, but eventually. But no, I don't know. I mean, it's good to have a wee bit of interest.
Have a chat. There's nothing wrong with that.
What about you, Stuart?
I like
kind
a
of party?
sit down, yeah.
You like a sit down?
I'm sick of clubs, I'm done. I like sitting in a pub, chatting shit. We were have you been to the rave? Adam Flood's got this comedy rave thing.
Yeah, I missed it because he did two, didn't he? I've missed both of them.
Yeah, we were there and me and Josh Jones decided very quickly that this wasn't for us and that we'd have a gab upstairs instead. And he's like, I don't mind then. Don't begrudge them having a good night. But it's not for me. And I was the same.
Yeah, Josh Jones said he popped in and then popped out.
Yeah, honestly, we both lasted about 30 seconds. We're like, fuck this. Let's
Leave this to the
just talk
youngsters.
smack upstairs.
Aye.
I just think we can't let them win. We can't let
Who's them? The young?
the youngsters. We can't let the young. Yeah, you. You can't let the youngsters win.
I actually feel like I do. Actually,
You're like,
let them
you know
win.
what, let's not have it.
Well, I feel it's like it's not my. I've fought this battle. I've served my time. I'm retired now, and I'll sit up the stairs and it's like playing a different role in life. I used to jump about. I just not get the energy, but if you do, then I envy you. To be perfectly honest,
People must just think you are really on drugs.
No, never. No.
really.
No, but you've naturally got so much energy though. If you're still able to dance around and everything, like
Yeah, but I'm also like, there's times when I'm tired. Like yesterday, I was tired. But I would never be tired on stage. Like my energy is always up for performing. I always have energy on stage. But if there was a time where I went to a party and I was drinking, but everyone else was doing coke around me, and I just went, boop, and then just knocked out. Literally just knocked out in this party, and I was very comfortable and happy. I was so comfortable, so happy.
It's
boring.
Good. It's good that though, when because sometimes I'm like when I see people out like on night and stuff, and I go, God, I don't think I could be arsed anymore. And then aye, they're on drugs. I forgot that because that's how
you
I
forget they exist.
Yeah, basically. But
Yeah, because you was at Glastonbury?
No, not this year. No.
did you
Someone that
go?
looked
Yeah, I
like
went
me.
to Glastonbury.
What was it like?
It was really. I've been twice. This is my second time in a row that I've gone. But this year, I was more aware of how many people were doing drugs publicly,
Yeah,
and everyone had like that weird necklace spoon around their neck.
is that what they did?
Yeah, they
Nice
did
spoon.
the necklace spoon and just like doing coke and whatever MDMA in the middle of the party, in the middle of like the festival. I was like so open, and it was just so weird. But like after a certain point, like maybe like 3:00, you can tell who really is fucked
Aye.
and like who are really amateurs about their
really?
situation, because they would just be on the floor.
Yeah.
One woman was like curled up in a ball and was just rolling down a hill.
Was she happy or?
I don't know.
I reckon she probably was.
I don't know.
Were you trying to look after her? Or?
No, I was just watching her. Sometimes I just watch.
Not your responsibility.
Not my responsibility. Sometimes I just watch.
And were you doing stand up at Glastonbury?
Yeah.
What was that like?
Weird. Festivals are always, I'd say good. It was really good, but weird. Festivals I find always weird. I don't know if you've done the festival, the big, like the tent ones. Yeah, they're not. They're sometimes can be fun, and sometimes they cannot be fun.
Yeah.
And I think because Glastonbury, the time slot that you get really depends on whether, in terms of if you're gonna have a good time or not, on also who's before and after you, but also what musicians are playing on the main stage.
Yeah.
A friend of mine got a Glastonbury comedy slot last minute because she just happened to be my +1 and someone had dropped out and they were like, can you do the slot? And she was like, yeah, great. They told her what time the slot was. It was the same time as Dua Lipa.
Oh, no.
So everyone obviously was like Dua Lipa and hardly anyone was in the tent.
And you'd probably want some of those Dua Lipa people in your crowd as well.
Yeah.
But they're all going to be watching her. So,
Yeah.
Always
So
want some Dua Lipa people in my crowd.
yeah, hers.
I feel like you could be a Dua Lipa audience kind of vibe.
I mean, I'd pop my head in, yeah. If I was there, I'd have a look. I've never seen her live. Have you?
No, we missed her because I was watching my friend. I was like, bitch. Yeah. You had to do this set. You could have said no. We're missing out on Dua Lipa.
I'm more a Charlie XCX guy myself, to be honest.
Brat
Mark's having
season.
a brat summer.
I actually have my Brat Summer t-shirt today. I do have one.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's just a lime green
He's
t-shirt.
got one lime green
Is it 'cause-
t-shirt.
Sorry, I'm now intrigued. Is this because you're trying to maybe swerve yourself in?
I'm trying to get back into nightclubs and I want to know, I want to know what the youngsters are listening
You're
to.
trying to
divorce
make yourself
bad
a bit
energy.
more, trying to make yourself a bit more relevant.
How do you do, fellas?
Having a
Kids?
brat summer, girls.
Actually, it's just came up on my Spotify and I'm like, do you know what, it's quite a good. I like that Apple one, that song Apple. It's good. Well, sometimes they can be yellow and green, you know what I
I
mean?
like that Apple one.
That Apple man.
Right, so I want to know this. So you were saying obviously you get your start doing the burlesque stuff and in the cabaret place. So you done cabaret first? Was that your first like performance of comedy, and then did you eventually switch to doing straight stand up? How did it come about?
Like I said, I was working in this pub, and doing cabaret shows. I started organising people's birthday parties and running parties for them, and I ended up performing in that or like hosting it. And then I was working behind the bar and my boss told me, why don't you give stand-up comedy a go? And I was just like, nah, it's not really for me. Because I used to watch like people come through, like Sindhu V started there.
Oh, did she?
Tez started there. So I used to watch all these people come through.
What was the pub?
It's called the Cavendish Arms.
The Cav, in Stockwell.
Yeah, in Stockwell, yeah. It's notoriously known for being like everyone's favourite and worst open mic.
Well, can I say, because it's
a
what's
bringer.
called a bringer gig, right? And I've got a tip for any comics listening, because I've done it twice and I've never brought anyone, right? And one of the times I came down, here's how you get away with it. If you turn up with a suitcase and the Scottish accent, and you say like, I've just arrived, sorry, I can't bring anyone. And then I think
People bring Tinder dates.
Yeah, well, I think I tried to do that and I maybe got stood up.
Yeah. People bring Tinder dates and that's hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was just like, give it a go. And I was like, no. She gave me a job doing the sound for comedy. And one of the perks is that you get to do stage time. So I just decided to go up and do it.
And did you not end up hosting that for ages? What was it like hosting it? Because that's so obviously it's a lot of new acts and stuff, and they get because I remember when you do it, and it's like
it's 5 minutes.
5 minutes, and they would just read the name of a hat. You didn't even know when you were going to be
random
on.
order.
Yeah,
you don't know when you're going on. It used to be like we had, because I still host it.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I still host it. So it used to be like we had 20 acts sometimes, and I think the most I've ever done was like 22, and that was a long night.
Yeah,
it's a long fucking night. But now we've done we do 2 shows a day, and we like get 10 to 11 people in on the show, and everyone gets 5 minutes. We try and just make it as nice and energetic as possible.
That's good.
Because some open nights, I appreciate why people hate bringers. Don't get me wrong. It's not my night. It's not my rules. It's not my night. It's not my rules. Yeah, and I think people don't understand that. I'm just there to MC and do my job.
Totally.
But I think some people like I said, I really get why people hate Bringers, but also, like, we're probably one of the best open mic nights in London.
It's a great room as well.
It's a great room because, like, you have the people that MC the show are, like, not just, like, trying to do it because they're, like, getting better at their craft or stage time. They're, like, me and Michael May are the main hosts, and, like, we're, like, professional comedians.
Yeah.
So, like, we know what we're doing. We know how to deal with audience members. We know. And I've seen some open mics because I teach at Soho Labs, Soho Theatre for the labs. So I go and sometimes scout open mic nights, and some of them, oh my God, are dirt shit. Oh, how shitty are these? Oh, these are shitty. Don't know how to be run. Don't know how to do, like, light, sound. Oh, it's so basic stuff, people. Basic stuff.
What's the worst one you've ever seen, would you say? Worst run comedy?
I don't know if
Do you know you say the name of it, but what was, I mean, just describe the
us
setup.
It's basically in a nightclub.
Wow.
And
Did you just happen to stumble upon it when you were out dancing?
no, I heard about it beforehand. And it's in a nightclub. It's downstairs in a nightclub. The promoters obviously are not really, like, paying attention.
Sure.
They don't really care who really is on the audience. It's people getting heckled, no control of the hecklers.
Mm-hmm.
It's people also on stage just saying whatever they want.
Yeah.
And most of the times that is, like, racist, sexist, homophobic stuff without no punchlines. And I'm like, this is horrendous.
Yeah.
This is bad all around.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
So you teach comedy?
Yeah, no,
That's
it's
all.
hilarious, right?
What can you teach us? What do you tend to do? What kind of stuff?
Well, I teach the newbies. So it's people who maybe have tried stand-up before and want to take it a bit more seriously, or people who've never done stand-up before. It's normally actors or, like, stuff like that. That's on the course.
This is at Soho Theatre.
Yeah, Soho Theatre. So it's the Soho Labs. So I teach it's called a stand-up course, which is quite fun, actually. It's like 10 weeks. They get to do the showcase downstairs at Soho Theatre,
Yes.
which I always tell them, like take a moment to embrace this moment because it may never happen again. Like,
I've never played that.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's some people that I know who are, like, desperate to play at least upstairs at Soho Theatre. So, like, just take the time and just embrace it and enjoy the time that you got on stage.
What do you, like, you must see, like, a lot of the same traits of, like, is there, like, kind of common mistakes people make when they're beginning and things like that, and is it taught you anything about comedy? Because obviously I guess, like, the more you teach, everybody, you're always learning, aren't you, as well?
Yeah, especially at the Cav, like, because I see obviously quite a lot of open micers come through the Cav, and people always ask me, why am I still there at doing this show? Well, number one, I get paid. Number two, it's around the corner from my house. Oh, that's great.
Yes.
And number three, it's just really nice for me to see, like, new comedians come up and, like, see how they evolve, see how they change.
Yeah.
And you also get to learn from, like, comedians. Like, I don't think comedians ever stop learning, generally. But you do see, like, simple things that people do. You're just like, that's just, who taught you that, or don't do that. Like, simple things like, move the mic stand out the way.
Yeah.
Simple thing. Move it out the way. I don't want to see it in front of you. Or, like, why people coming out and doing racist, sexist, homophobic jokes, trans jokes without no proper punchlines. Like, you just, like, vocalizing what you're saying in the pub on stage is not how you do a joke. Or, like, simple things like, don't be a dick. Yeah. Or also, don't do crowd work if you're an open micer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like that. Just take your 5
It
minutes.
sounds like this all applies to the same sort of guy. It's just one person you're thinking of.
Do you think that people do that more now because obviously there's so many crowd work clips and stuff? Do you see open
Yeah, I'm going
micers?
to blame you lot. Yeah.
About material as well.
I'm blaming you lot for that. Yeah.
But do you think that that's become more commonplace? That
Yeah.
people go up and they think that that's what the thing
There's
is?
quite a few people who are, like, open micers who are putting out material,
Yeah,
or, like, crowd work stuff. I'm like, why would you do that?
I know.
Like, establish yourself as a comedian, understand what your voice is, and then you can start putting out stuff. And also, I just don't think open micers, if you don't have the skill or, like, don't have the ability to deal with an audience, should not deal with crowd work.
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
It's I do feel a bit sorry for people starting now though, because, like, that all they really know and what they see in terms of people that have been successful is putting out crowd work and putting out stuff all
Yeah.
the time, and so they think that's what they've got to do. And so they're, okay, I've done this joke 3 times, I'll just put it out, even though they're fucking I'm like, there's like no footage of me for like the first like 7 years or something. Like,
Yeah.
so fucking grateful for that. Do you know what I mean? Because it'd have been awful, but yeah, it takes time, and I just feel like it's like I feel like they must feel a pressure because it used to be like when we started that people would be so reluctant to put their stuff out because they're always usually it was like
Material.
You don't want to
save
burn the material.
Yeah, you want to save it for Live at the Apollo, which you have done.
She
There you
has.
go.
She has. Yeah, like I said, there's hardly, same with you, there's no footage of me probably before BBC Awards,
Yeah, really.
which was up here in 2017. There's nothing before me doing that.
When did you start?
Probably 2 years before that, 2015.
2015.
So I've got videos of me on my phone or in my laptop from me in like 2015, 2016, 2017.
Nobody's got it.
But no one's got it. Like, no one's seeing that. No one's seeing that.
No.
So, like, the earliest footage is from BBC Awards, and obviously I've not put it out. They've put it out.
Yeah,
And even stuff after that, I've still not put out. It's other stuff that people put out.
100%.
Yeah, because I was just like, I don't want to put that out there if I don't want to put it out there. But now everything nowadays, like you said, is like crowd work, clips and stuff like that. So there is a pressure not just on like the newbies, I think on every like comedians in general, in order for us to like establish a fan base, in order for us to establish like a different level of audience, we have to like do the social media stuff, which is sometimes quite hard if you don't have the time or don't have the skills to like do it, really. But also like some people who do the social media, I don't know if you find this, they expect you to continue. There's like a demand from you. Where's the videos? Where's the clips?
Right.
When they're coming out, why are you not giving us the stuff that we need? A couple of people I've spoken to about it just felt like it's so demanding.
It's never ending, isn't it?
It's never ending that you have to keep plowing out like the clips and the material or whatever that you're doing on social media.
Yeah.
Because otherwise the fans are like, the audience are like, whoa.
I wonder, but that's because I don't often feel that way. I mean, apart from doing this podcast, but I do. Like, I feel like it's more the algorithm that's like it demands it, and if you stop posting it, almost like stop showing it to as many people. And so, like, I've never had any comments like, "When's the next fucking clip coming out?" Maybe people do wonder that. I don't know, but it's more for me. It's like because it's you're almost trying to. Yeah, it's for the algorithm and for this fucking system, and that'll punish you rather than people necessarily being that.
That's
Thing,
your new boss, though, isn't it? The fucking algorithm.
Yeah, the algorithms, we're all fucking.
And also I think like people sometimes who see certain clips expect you to be that person on stage.
Yeah.
Like I remember Tati when she was putting out all the French stuff, she used to get a lot of French audience coming to the shows. And she was doing dirty material and they were she was like, what, this is a different...
They're like, sacre bleu!
Yeah. So I don't think... Like, you have to have this balance of, like, understanding who you are, or audiences understanding who you are.
Totally.
In both sense.
Well, I've said before, like, because when I started it, the first couple of clips I put up that went, like, kind of viral, and this was, like, on Facebook is when you could do that, and I put out one about working in a call centre, and that done really well, and then I had a Scottish phrases bit, and I used to worry, God, are people going to come, when I was doing like my first hour, are they going to expect an hour about talking about working in a call centre? Are they going to expect an hour of talk about fucking Scottish stuff? And actually, like, it's just one of those things. It's like you come and like, okay, maybe you don't know what people's expectations are really, but if they come and maybe they think that, as long as it's still funny and relevant, it doesn't matter. But hey, fucking stay on top of it. They don't. But
at least that's your stand up and it's representative of the style of what you actually do. Though it's all in the
guess,
same world, isn't it? Whereas if you're doing like sketches or whatever, or pieces to camera, it's harder.
100%. So how did you go then for doing gigs at the Cav, starting out to then getting into BBC New Comedy, and then obviously doing your first Fringe run and all that, just doing the circuit and all
Just
that?
doing the circuit, really. It's a lot of, for me personally, like I've always had to work, so I've always had to work around gigging and around like performing, and it's obviously a lot, especially when you do burlesque, you spend a lot of money on costumes and clothes and stuff like that. And obviously in comedy, as the bigger you get, like you traveling more around the country, the more known you are, people want to get you up and down the country, which is quite fun but also quite tiring. To like, I nearly missed my train once because I was so tired, like as in like I was meant to change and I literally got on the train, had a little nap, and then nearly missed a stop to get off to get my next train. I was like, so I was just like this close to missing my train. Because sometimes it's just so tiring to like be thinking about what we're doing next, where we're going. And also, I don't know how you lot feel about it. If I'm like going from if I'm traveling from my house to a gig or going from gig to gig, having to like worry about time is such a big thing
Yeah,
and
it hangs
stressful.
over your whole day. doesn't it?
Yeah, it's
Fancy,
stressful.
Yeah, that's because you need to give yourself enough of a window in case something goes wrong, and then
Yeah.
it inevitably does. And
Yeah, I think that's what people wouldn't realise a lot of times. Often the gig is like the least of your worries, really. The gig will be fine, probably. But
You
it's
get in
everything else,
there,
and it's
well,
a
that's
pain
like
in
your
the
whole
ass.
day is like fucking 10 hours or something to go and do 20 minutes. So like the gig's like that's
A
the
tiny
easy
part.
bit,
Yeah.
basically. Like there's only fucking other shit. That's
But I don't think a lot of people understand what we really do and like the work and ethic that goes into us becoming stand-up comedians, because it is about doing the circuits, about doing the gigs. Obviously, I started at a cav, and then went from 5 minutes into trying to do 7 minutes into 10 minutes, and then you're trying to compete to get yourself a spot, an open spot, and then you're trying to get competing to get paid, to show off that you deserve to get paid. And then it's the competitions, the new act competitions that you have got to enter in order for you to be seen. And then it's, do you want an agent? Because some people, you don't have to have an agent. It's like, I'm boring you already, Stuart.
Sorry, I'm just so tired. It's the Fringe, man.
Do you know that meant we
We've
need to
been
cut
yawning
out him
and
doing this?
Yeah, I'm
Putting
yawning
his
through
nails
every
on
fucking
time.
But yeah, and
He's
then
just
it's,
getting tired having to listen in the process of being a comedian,
It's
never
exhausting,
mind
man.
having to actually do it.
well, yeah, then going into like 20 minutes into like 45 or 20. I don't think people understand that. And no offense to comedians on the circuit, but you don't understand. There's a big difference between a 20-minute club set and a 45-minute work in progress into an hour show. And Stuart Laws like filmed us, the film 5 of us in 2022, doing our Fringe for the first time.
Yeah.
It is me crying a lot. So yeah, and I just don't think people understand the processes that we go through in order for us to become who we are today and like come to the Fringe and perform and stuff like that. They just think, oh, I'm just gonna go and do that.
And what was that like? Well, first of all, just doing your debut, and what was the difference for you, that, like compared to like doing the 45 in the spots, you would say? And also, what was it like getting filmed while you were doing that?
So obviously 2022 was the first big year out of the pandemic for Edinburgh Fringe. So it wasn't just like a selection of us was debuting. It was the year that everyone was debuting.
It was like a backlog.
It was a
Yeah,
backlog.
exactly.
There was everyone that was debuting. And I think we all felt kind of, especially if we had already done TV stuff, because a couple, like me and Josh Jones had done TV stuff before.
Yeah.
We had like a slight pressure on us to be like, our shows have to be good, they have to be decent in order for us to prove that we're worth the TV stuff that we got, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of pressure.
Do you feel that pressure more from yourself or from the industry? Or
I think it's a bit of both. Like, you always want to be better and you want to be good at what you do, but also you want to emphasize that, for me personally, I want to be authentically.
It really depends on what you're going to say next.
Authentically me?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Authentically me.
That's the title for this episode. Authentically me with Sikisa.
14 authentic clues.
Just do it as or just do the word. I think, yeah, that's what you should do. Yeah. And I think a lot of people was expecting me to do like an immigration show, because obviously people knew I was an immigration lawyer. A lot of my peers was an immigration lawyer.
Yeah.
And I mentioned about immigration in my show, but my show wasn't about immigration. It was about me having a great time having a party. So for me, the debut was stressful. It's a roller coaster. You don't know. Fringe is a roller coaster. I was doing mine at the Pleasance. It's a roller coaster. It's a lot of money. And then to have Stuart Laws we've put a camera in your face every day. I literally would just be doing something and it would just pop up with a camera. I was like, how did you know where I was? And there's a bit in the film that is quite difficult for me to watch, because it is, especially like 2 years on, because I'm a different person now, a different comedian.
Yeah.
But like watching it back was quite hard. But I also made some really, like me and Josh Jones got really close because of like our debuts. And we kind of felt like we was in the same position, like working class people coming up to the Fringe.
Totally.
Especially he's a gay northern lad. I'm a black woman. We just felt so out of place at certain points during the Fringe. But knowing that we're in the same boat, that we had each other, was probably the best thing for us.
Yeah, totally. Because there is a thing as well, because obviously a lot of Scottish acts feel this as well. It's like you feel kind of like, oh, the Fringe, it's not for us, it's for all the Oxbridge lot, the posh folk and all that, and it is hard to feel, like not to feel out of place sometimes, but then the thing you always try and remind yourself is like, well, look, there's all these people about, and most of them aren't even performers. We're the people up there doing it, and you've got yourself in this position, and you're like, no, well, I fucking earned it, and the fact that I'm here and I'm not, you know what I mean, from fucking money and all this and that and the other, it's like, well, fucking, I'm just in the same, everybody's in the same boat, and you just can fucking prove yourself by doing what you do on the stage. Exactly.
And that's why I really, like, after the debut, I really realised that how if people like working class people, Scottish people, the people of diversity don't come up to the Fringe, it will just be
all that.
Yeah, all of that. That is just boring.
Yeah.
You just need some sort of diversity. But I think the Fringe needs to change at some point, or need to support performers a little bit more in terms of like that, because it is a lot to come up here.
Yeah.
It's a lot of effort, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of energy, but also it's a lot of money accommodation wise.
Yeah.
So this is why I'm trying to have sex with an Edinburgh guy. Free accommodation.
That's why Sikisa asked to come on the podcast.
I'm not trying to travel.
That's why Steve's fiance's not letting him appear today. But did you learn anything then? So see, if you said obviously there's stuff that was hard to watch on it, is there anything that you learned that you've taken into the Fringe now in terms of how to approach it compared to how you did that debut year? Or is there anything that you would say, like, see if you see people doing their debut this year or people that have got it coming up, would you give them any advice in terms of what to do or what not to do?
I would probably say, number one, don't rush it. Don't rush your debut. Like, debut when you want to debut. A prime example of that was like Kima Bob this year. She's debuted. And
is she debuting?
Well, that's what you want people saying.
Yeah, exactly. People do that all the time. If people don't realise it's her debut.
Yeah.
Because she's been on the circuit. She's been around for a while. She's done quite a lot of TV stuff as well over the last couple of years. So people are very shocked that she's doing her debut, but she's doing a debut because she feels it's time for her to do her debut.
Sure.
Same with Josephine Lacey. Josephine Lacey is actually the person that was one of the first comedians I saw, a person of colour, woman on stage at the Cav. I met her at the Cav. She was one of the first comedians I knew.
Yeah.
This is what 12 years ago that I met her, before I was doing stand-up. And I literally looked at her and I was like, I would love to be that woman.
Yeah.
Like, she's got so much brass, she's got so much confidence. She's from South London. She knows who she is as a person, and she's just like proper club comedian. Yeah. And I went to see her show the other day, and it's so fucking good. But it's her debut.
Well, I know, because she's not been up before.
She's not been up before. It's her debut.
Brilliant.
And you just do your debut when you want to do your debut. So I wouldn't say rush it. I also would say, if you've never been to the Fringe before, come up to the Fringe, even if it's for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Look at the venues. The amount of people who've never seen their venue before.
Yeah, that's a crazy risk.
That's a crazy risk. Yeah. Like, how can you not know what your venue looks like?
Well, the amount of free Fringes I used to do when I was starting out in like fucking, some abandoned building or whatever. So it's like they're putting up, the day before it all starts. And like, it's crazy. But, it's because I always feel bad for like, see somebody you meet like, Americans or something, and they come over and they get some random free Fringe and it's like
off Lothian Road.
Yeah,
I think there's three black female comedians who are doing, I think, a Three Sisters venue.
Yeah,
like the smaller one.
Yeah, like the wee karaoke.
And they're like proper established in America.
Wow,
and I thought that's fucking crazy.
I know.
It's crazy, but I think coming up and at least experiencing the Fringe, even if it's for a couple of days, just so you know what you're kind of getting yourself into.
Yeah,
it's great. Yeah. And also just probably hang out with people that you want to hang out with.
Aye, because that's one of the nicest bits as well, and like that's why I've always tried to. I had a mate who stayed in London for years, and he would always put me down. So I'd always go down for a couple of weeks, and what I liked most, and the most thing I got out of it was just meeting other comics and gigging with them and them seeing you and vice versa. And You know, something to be said for that, and just finding people that are at your same, as you saying, you and Josh, like, you know, at the same point, you know,
Same school, yeah.
your development, and then it's your pals, and that's who you come up with, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fringe is great for that as well, isn't it? You meet so many people and
Yeah.
Totally.
it's a hangout, it's good.
And you meet your old people, new people. Like I saw, who do I see the other day that I haven't seen in years up here? I can't remember who it was, but we've not seen each other in years. And I was like, oh my God, what are you doing there? And it was so nice to like, it was everyone up here. I think if I didn't come up for the 2 weeks, I would have had massive FOMO.
Aye.
So I'm very glad that I've like come up. And it's always nice to hang out, especially at like Monkey Barrel, and like everyone's just so chill. All the staff are fucking lovely. And like, I just think it just needs to be slightly shorter. Can we just make it 3 weeks?
yeah.
Can we just take off the last week?
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I'm all in favour.
I've
I'll
been
keep
here
saying
for
that.
3 weeks as of
Yeah, me
today,
too.
and obviously didn't start the show. Oh, you did start the show 3 weeks ago, so it's like, and there's still a week left, so it's like
Yeah.
fucking so long.
Yeah, I was
isn't
the
it?
first cunt in this town. Still there.
Still here.
The last
How
day.
is your energy levels?
Low. I mean, the shows are great. I'm having a good time. I'm really enjoying myself, but I am just fucked. Do you know what I mean? Just
It does take a toll out of you, isn't
I
it?
know. I do sort of always feel bad about moaning about it because it's like an hour a day, and then like you're talking to your staff in your
I know.
venue, and they've been doing a 12-hour shift, and I'm like,
yeah. I'm
so
aware
to-
nurses exist and everything.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
So wait, you two are sharing a flat.
Yeah.
So that means, I know about you, but that means that you're not getting no action?
What? I'm not sharing a room.
Don't worry about Mark. He's doing all right.
I need to bring them in and introduce them to my mum and dad. don't I?
Yeah, we talk about that. Me and Tam were on the couch with the dog last night, and Mark came in with a guest.
I was
Oi!
just trying to, you know.
We saw her come in and out of the flat.
Right, let's not talk about that.
Wow. Okay. Mark is the player.
I wouldn't worry about him.
What? How's
So
he?
wait, so you were here for 3 weeks.
Hang on.
So wait, how many number
Hang on, we're
women?
interviewing you here.
No, this is now
What,
changed to
you
the
fucking
Sikisa.
shagging Jill Fringe, are you? Let's get out of here.
You found an
Party
Edinburgh
girl,
man yet?
you know.
The Fringe, what happens at the Fringe stays at the Fringe. Though, is it? Unless it's on the podcast.
Where are you staying? Have you got good accom?
Yeah, I was actually staying on Frederick Street, just by Princess Street.
Yeah, lovely.
All right.
Yeah, it's a really lovely flat. Look, for the last 3 years that I've been up at the Fringe, we've always stayed in this, again, lovely flat just off Princess Street, but it's been 8 floors.
8 floors.
8 floors. No lift.
Yeah, well,
8 floors. And it was always horrendous. Number one, the suitcase, but number two, when you're like coming home at 4 o'clock in the
Yeah,
morning,
fuck that.
and there's like a landing as well, and then you just get to London and you look up and you go, oh my fucking God, no.
That's brutal.
So this year, the landlord had to move us to a different flat just up the road.
Aye.
It's just like 2 streets up. And it's actually so lovely. Like, my room is massive. It is so, so massive. And there's a massive living room. Like, the day before, we were all just happened to be awake or coming in at the same time. And we just sat in the living room and just had a lovely chat while we ate our KFCs and kebabs. It was so lovely. That was Saturday night. But there's 3 bedrooms, there's 3 floors in the flat. And the price that we're paying for this flat is ridiculous.
Really?
No. Ridiculous good.
Well, that's good. Yeah,
So you don't need an Edinburgh man after all.
you're fine.
No, I do.
You're
I still pay money. I would like to not pay money and still get some dick. Okay.
Yeah, well, listen, we've got a lot of Edinburgh listeners out there. So,
Holler at your girl.
So, see, after your debut, how long was that? The same year that you done Live at the Apollo?
Yeah. I
was
found out.
That's quite unusual in itself, I suppose, isn't it?
Well, yeah, because the day I found out was either the day after or the day of the nominations.
Oh wow!
I think it was the day after of the nominations. And I had always known I wasn't going to get nominated.
And did you not get nominated that year?
No,
Oh, I see. Okay.
no, I did. I knew I wasn't going to get nominated. People always like hyping, your show's great, da, da, da.
Yeah.
But I knew in my heart that I knew my show wasn't going to get nominated. And it was like coming up to like my last 3 shows of the Fringe. And I was in my dressing room getting changed into this party dress. And I got a phone call from my agent at the time, Helena, who was absolutely amazing, going, I've got some news for you. And I go, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just about to do my show. What do you want, skinny bitch? Which is what I always call her.
Is that why she's no longer your age?
That's what I called her the first time I met her. And she was like, would you like to come and have a meeting? And I was like, who are you, you skinny bitch? Probably why she signed me in the first one. Anyway.
Is that for when you were being authentically you?
Yeah, being authentically me. And then she was like, oh, you've got live at Apollo. And I literally went, no. I literally said to her on the phone, no, not doing it. No, not doing it. I was like, she was like, what are you talking about? She was like, I'm not doing it. I'm not ready. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just doing my debut. I'm not doing it. I literally had a breakdown just before my friends. And a friend of mine took a picture of me just in the floor, just going, no. And then she was like, don't tell no one. But obviously that news is massive, right? And I was like,
to go on stage.
I was just about to go on stage. And I was just like, I need to tell someone. So I told my sound tech, who's called Josie. She's amazing. She's been my sound tech for the last 2 years. I told Josie, and she screamed in the Pleasance. And the Pleasance staff came and was like, everything okay? We're like, yeah, we're fine. And then that night, I told Josh Jones. And then even, because I didn't want to tell Josh Jones, because obviously, Live at Apollo is something that we all dream to aspire to have.
Yes.
But he had just got nominated, so I was like, fuck him. I've got...
Shove your fucking nomination, Jones.
Win some, you lose some.
But I told him because I felt really bad. It sounds really stupid me saying this, but I felt like there was other people who deserved it more than I did at that moment. So I had to have a little slap in the face from Josh Jones at that moment in time. But yeah, it was a surreal moment to like find out that you got one of the biggest TV shows.
Because that's like really, I mean, basically MD coming to the Fringe almost like there's a comic like that. If they got that,
you would want to
it's kind of thing you would dream of getting. Basically.
Yeah, because every time you get into a taxi and I normally sometimes I'll tell people, taxi drivers, what I do, because they're like, oh, what are you doing? What do you do? Especially you come out from the sticks or somewhere and you like have to get a taxi. You're like, oh, where you come from? I'm like, I was just doing a gig. I was like, oh, what, you're a comedian? Yeah. Have you done Live at Apollo? Yes, I have.
Have you had to say that to somebody after you've done it?
Yeah.
That's good. No further questions.
Look, there you go. There's a backdrop.
Because that's the question people, when I find taxi drivers ask you that all the time. Like, oh, what? Have you done like TV shows? Have you done like Live at Apollo? So it's like the pinnacle of what people think about in terms of comedy in the UK. It's
totally.
Like Live at Apollo. Yeah. And it was so surreal. And it was the biggest thing I've ever done. And it was the best thing I've ever done.
Brilliant.
Like it went like...
Did you love it as a gig?
I loved it as a gig. And it was really funny because I thought I was going to go on first after like the host, who was Susie Ruffle. And they put on Alfie Brown first. Which is obviously quite controversial now. But he went on first and he had hecklers.
Oh, did he?
He had hecklers.
That's unusual at Live at the Apollo, surely. Did you not tell them to shut the fuck up?
Yeah, he had 2 hecklers and he dealt with them whilst on stage. But also then apparently they took them out. But like he had 2 hecklers. And I was in the back watching it on the TV screen and I was going, oh, is this what we're doing today? Okay, fine, I'm ready. Let's go. Is this what we're doing?
You're getting the MC skills
I was
in.
literally just getting my MC skills in. So... And luckily I didn't have to do it. It went so well from beginning to end.
Brilliant.
And my parents were there. It's the first time they see me do a full set.
Amazing.
They've never seen me do it because the things I talk about on stage. I'm like, I don't want you here.
Yeah.
But they came and saw my...
If they're going to see one, it may as well be that one.
Yeah, they came and saw it. My best friend who lives in Wolverhampton now travelled from Wolverhampton to come watch it.
Brilliant.
And then she went back up the same night. I had a few school friends who are still like some of my best friends, but they've never seen me do stand-up of what they see on TV. They came to the show. So I had and obviously some comic friends were there and it was the best thing ever. It was so lovely.
That's amazing.
It was, obviously there was an incident that happened just beforehand. Basically in rehearsal, you know, when they open up the curtain, open. There's 2 curtains they do. There will be one and they do 2.
And then because the big sign
the sign comes up.
Yeah.
So there's a curtain and the sign comes up. And we had to do the rehearsal of it because obviously the smoke and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the man goes to me, when I tell you to go, you go. So I was like, fine, I'm watching this man in rehearsal. The smoke starts, the first one goes up, and the second one starts going, and he goes, go. I start walking, but there's so much smoke that I can't really see. But I'm still walking, but quite slowly. But I still can't see because the smoke is so much. So I can't actually see where I'm going. You know, when you're like blinded, even though you know there's nothing in front of you, you feel weird.
You're reaching out and
Yeah,
stuff.
you're reaching out and stuff. So I'm doing this rehearsal, like, fucking hell, this is crazy. So I'm walking still, but I'm walking not as fast as I should be walking.
Right.
The man's obviously not seeing me because I'm covered in smoke. He accidentally puts down the sign and I walked head first into the sign. It was, and I've got it on film because my agent was filming the rehearsal at the time, so I've got it on film.
That's a viral video right there.
I've got it on film.
Comedian destroys sign of life at the Apollo.
But I literally walked head first into it, and it hurt. And obviously, the guy up there was flipping out because it's never happened before.
You see the only comedian who's ever smacked their head against the live at the Apollo.
Literally, he's flipping out upstairs. He's having a heart attack. I'm like, everything's fine. Let's everyone not worry about it. We're all perfectly fine. Come to realise that I ended up having a concussion. Yeah.
No.
So I ended up doing...
Just on the same day?
Yeah, so literally 2 hours before.
Fucking hell.
So I ended up doing Apollo with a concussion.
They're going to end up like, because they're trying to get rid of headers in football because it hurts people's heads. You're going to end up being the reason they get rid of that sign.
I know.
Yeah.
It's a good thing you didn't make you wear a big bandage.
Yeah.
Terry Butcher.
Well, we didn't find out until afterwards, but yeah.
But you still gave a great performance despite having concussion.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Maybe I should have concussions more often.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, it's certainly calm your nerves, I suppose. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So at least I've got like a Apollo story.
That's a good story.
Not just a boring one.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you about what's it like when you come out. Was it not scary when you actually done it for real and you were worried that it was going to happen again?
I was having a heart attack. I was like, please, not today, Satan, not today, Satan, not today. God. And obviously you get to pick your song that you walk out to.
Uh-huh.
What did you choose?
I had to choose Mabel. I think it was Mabel. Yeah, it was Mabel. It was a Mabel song. Because I gave them like 15 options.
Oh, aye.
And they all got vetoed.
Really?
What was on there?
And I wasn't even going for the big ones.
A lot of emo?
No, I wasn't. I was going for like pie.
Yeah.
I wasn't even going for like Beyonce because I was like, you're not going to get Beyonce. You're not going to get those.
Surely the BBC, they can do whatever they want, can they not?
No, it's money.
Right,
royalty money, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah. So I was going for like lower stakes ones. Mm-hmm. At one point I tried Stormzy. No.
You didn't get Stormzy?
I didn't get Stormzy.
So you got your ex's Screamo band. Come on to that.
Maybe I should do that next time.
You're saying that I'm going to have trouble if I ever get asked on and I can't get Charlie XCX.
You might be able to, maybe.
You know,
so yeah.
I'll wear my yellow t-shirt.
So I actually come out of the smoke dancing, and it's quite a cool video to watch. Me just coming out, just dancing.
That's great.
I think I had to do it in order for me to handle my nerves, because within the first minute you can see me shaking, and then as soon as the first couple of jokes land, I think I'd literally go into like powerhouse autopilot, and it was literally, I felt it in me. It was like, I came off and people were like, that was fucking epic. I was like, thank fuck. But you do go out of body.
Yeah, no, so especially if you're concussed, I guess.
Yeah, out of body and out of mind.
Amazing.
And I went into work the next day.
Wow.
Yeah.
In the law firm?
Yeah.
What do they make of your comedy career in the law firm?
They know about it. They do know about it. I think people were worried I'm going to do jokes about them. I was like, I don't care about you that much.
Yeah.
I don't care about you. I've had a couple of clients recognize me.
Wow.
You're that woman that banged her head on live.
Yeah, I've had a couple of clients recognize me, and that's been weird because I go into a different mode at work. I'm in work mode.
Yeah. You're not walking into the courtroom to a fucking song and dance.
Yeah, exactly. I'm in a professional mode. So, like, I go into a work mode. And it's very much like, I don't want to say stone face, but it's like, it's neutral face. Like, I'm not who I am on stage. So when people start talking to me about my comedy at work, I find it very weird.
Yeah, it's just weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's interesting having different personas and having to juggle them. But yeah.
So it seems like a crazy combination to have such a serious job.
Yeah,
comedy.
Especially when I sound like this. I talk about dick all the time. People are like, wow. People actually come up to me afterwards and go, are you really an immigration lawyer? I'm like, yeah. Yeah. You want a visa? What? What do you want? I think it's because I talk about dick way too much on stage.
Yeah, me
Where's
too.
the dick?
Different way. Well, again, if anyone's out there, get in touch. Absolutely. The last question, but do you think that you'll ever will there need to come a time where you need to pick an option between the law and the comedy? Or do you think for now it's you're managing to balance them both?
Oh yeah, I'm like 3 years behind that. Yeah, I should have done it 3 years ago. I should have done it 3 years ago. I work part-time as a lawyer.
Yeah.
So I only work like 2.5 days a week. But there's a couple of reasons why I still have the job. One of them is I feel bad for some of my clients. So like I really would like to finish some of my cases.
Yeah, totally.
So I know they're done
Yeah.
before I leave. And that was always my plan, to like get rid of my caseload.
Of course.
So I know I've dealt with it. Because I'm, not to gas myself up, but I think I'm quite good at my job. And I know because I've done it for so long, I know what's expected.
Yeah.
And there's quite a few people at my law firm who are just not as experienced as I am.
Yeah.
And I would rather I deal with it knowing that I've done the best that I can do
Absolutely.
with them in terms of trying to help them with their case.
Yeah, and particularly the way it's been, the last wee while,
Yeah.
with all of that stuff,
Like I've had a case whilst I've been up, which has been allowed in tribunal, which was probably quite hopeless. Like people would have thought it was hopeless, and it's now succeeded. So to know that that's going to be over and done with is nice to know how that this person's getting their refugee status in the country.
That's great.
That's amazing.
So I just think there's a part of me that doesn't want to leave, but I should have left 3 years ago, really, because I've been full time since then, and that's been quite difficult to juggle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
But not only making people laugh and giving people a party, you're helping out people.
I know,
that need
but
that as well.
I need to be more selfish. More time, more dick, more chicken.
Okay, that's the new title for the episode. I think that's a great place to end it. Yeah, Sikisa, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Sikisa.
Before you go, do you want to plug anything that you've got to plug up? The Fringe will be over by the time this comes out, but anything just people can follow you anywhere, anything you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, you can follow me on social media. It's Sikisa Comedy. Or if you type in Twix in Instagram, it does come up. I'm the one with the black face. There's some other bitch with a Twix comedy page. I don't know who this bitch is, but it's not me. Okay, so Twix Comedy.
Report the other one.
Yeah,
I might have to. I also have a podcast. I have a wrestling podcast. If you like wrestling, follow the wrestling podcast. It is called Wrestle Club UK. Wrestle Club Podcast. We've got a theme song.
And hey, listen, if you want to get me on to talk more about Mae Young, I'm absolutely happy.
With the puppies. We talked about the puppies. Yeah, follow me on Facebook as well, or wherever you get your entertainment from. I'll be up in the Fringe next year doing my full run again.
Yes. And
Catch the full show.
Bringing some emo music.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, Sikisa.
Before we go, of course, please, as ever, remember to like and subscribe on YouTube, give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and you can follow us at SomeLaughPod on Instagram, TikTok and Twitter, and send any questions you've got to the email address, which is somelaughpod@gmail.com. Thanks a lot for tuning in, guys, and we'll speak to you very soon.
Thank you.